What's a hard limiter? Why should we use it? I'll show you. What's up guys, David here, doing a quick tutorial explaining what a hard limiter is and kind of the quick version of where, why, and when you should use one. So first things first, I have a track laid down here in Adobe Audition CC, and it's nothing special. This is just some test audio so we can mess around with prior to engaging any of my effects into my piece of audio, I do a noise reduction, and you can check that video out on how to do that right here. So just know that I've went ahead and done that here. So I have some audio, and it's not compressed very well. There's a lot of peak and valley, and it sounds okay. It could be a little cleaner, and it could be a little smoother. It can certainly be a little more level. Now, a lot of people will use compressors for this. I'm usually one of those people, and I have some pretty good tutorials on simple compressors right here you can check out too. But a hard limiter works really well too, because a hard limiter is a compressor. It's just a super simple compressor. It's very easy to use, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. When would you use one of these? Well, this is a perfect example. If I go into Effects, Amplitude Compression, Hard Limiter, it pulls up what I need here, and you can see there's some settings already set in here. So what do we want to do with the hard limiter, and what are we trying to do with it? Well, I'm trying to, just like with the compressor, I'm trying to flatten out some of my higher peaks in my audio. The dynamic range of this sound is pretty big. You can see we have a lot of peak and valley, so we want to smooth this out a little. So if I just take this audio, almost like I can give it a little haircut here, just clipping it right here, let's do it at -3. That would be my maximum amplitude. Now with the compressor, we have something called the threshold. This is the kind of the same thing. This is the ceiling. So what's different about a hard limiter is you're taking that audio, and when it goes up, we're stopping it dead at the exact decibel level that we want to. So we're going to set our maximum amplitude at -3, which will be right around in this category. You can follow this line right across here, and you'll see where the audio gets cut down. Input boost is just makeup gain, and so I'm not going to mess with that right now because I'll do any boosting that I need to afterward. Look ahead time is just my attack time, 7 milliseconds works. Release time is release time, 80 milliseconds. Remember, look ahead and attack is how quickly the compressor engages, and release is how quickly it releases. So now watch this line right here. We're going to apply it, and it cuts everything off right at -3. So now what we can do is we can raise it all up. It gives us more headroom. So now we can increase the volume of our overall track, and all the little nuance in our dynamic range of our voice got louder because there was more headroom to play around with. Now let's listen to it. This is just some test audio so we can mess around with a hard limiter and learn about its simple functions, where and why we should use them, and how they can help us. If I take that off, now I'm back here at the -3. Maybe I just want my entire output to be at -3. This is just some test audio so we can mess around with a hard limiter and learn about it's not going above -3. So that's the simple function of a hard limiter in Adobe Audition CC. Now, when would you use something like this? Well, let's say you're recording live for a podcast. Let's do a new recording here. Let's amplify all my input by 20, so it'll be nice and loud. Then let me put a hard limiter in my effect rack, and I want it to stop at -3. Actually, let's do this. How about this? -5, we'll have it stop at. I'll leave my input boost at 0, and attack and release will be the same too. So now it's in here. Let's record something. Recording some test audio in Adobe Audition CC, testing the function of a hard limiter. Let's say I'm doing a live podcast, and one of my guests is really eating the mic, and so now he's got a real heavy proximity effect going, and it really needs to be cut down because the overall value of my entire recording hangs in the balance. So now let's apply my effect. So it's cut everything off at that -5 that we set it out. Now, of course, I know what you're thinking. This is going to sound like garbage. Recording some test audio in Adobe Audition. Yeah, it sounds like garbage, but it shows my effect and what I'm trying to do. Now, if I want to adjust that, all I have to do is double click on my hard limiter. That's a little too firm. Let's go to -2, apply that. Let's see what it looks like now. That's a lot easier to deal with. It's still not perfect. Recording some test audio, but on the fly, it's going to do a great job of clipping that audio down for you so you're not overmodulating and your audio doesn't clip. This really gives it a nice finished feel to it. And of course, what you'll need to do is go in and play around with these settings so they work for you and what you're trying to do. But this is a great example of a compressor on the fly that's going to work every single time. And just remember, if you have to hard limit something so much, you probably need to just turn the volume of the mic down. That's probably step number one. Step number two, learn how to use a hard limiter. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments. Let me know how it's working out for you.